later. We may end a bit later. And also any questions that you have, we may have to answer that after the lesson, okay? So that we don't keep everybody all waiting. Okay, make sure your screen can, make sure you can hear my voice clearly. Okay, let's begin. Now let's go to question 1. Okay, question 1, I will run through every single question and I will talk about the shortcuts and also methods, right? Methods. Okay, what is the smallest possible odd number that can be formed with the following digits? Okay, so if you look at the digits given, to make the smallest number, you cannot start with 0, right? Numbers don't start with 0. You have to start with the next smaller digit. So you start with 2, and then you put back the 0, and then 3, and then 7 and 8. So you always try to make you always start with the smallest to the biggest digit to get the smallest number first. But the question wants you to get odd number. So you need to look at the last digit to see whether is it odd or even. So the last digit is even. So the whole number is even. So you will need to change place with the 7. Change place. So your smallest odd number will be 20387. And that's how you get your answer, which is number what? Number 1. Okay, number 1. Okay, so any mistake, just do your corrections, give yourself 1 mark. You will add up the marks at the end of every page. Okay, how do you change the mixed number into an improper fraction, P4? You need to multiply and then plus. All right, this is a concept. So 7 times 8 is 56, and then 56 plus 1 will be 61, right? 61 over 8, very easy. That's how you change the mixed number into an improper fraction. So answer number 1. Okay, this is a concept. Concept means basic. You have to know your basic. Everybody start your video once you're inside, okay? All right, let's go on to question number 3. How do you change this into a decimal? How do you change the improper fraction to a decimal? Now, you have to divide. Fraction means what? Fraction means dividing. 13 over 8 means 13 divided by 8. Okay, by now you should know that fraction is dividing. 13 over 8 means 13 divided by 8. So then you do your long division. So you have 1 times 8 will be 8. And that's a remainder 5. So how do you continue dividing? You change the whole number into a decimal, raise up the decimal point, and then pull the 0 down, and then you have 6 times 8, 48, and that's a remainder 2, all right? And then how to continue dividing? Add 1 more 0, pull the 0 down, and then 2 times 8 will be 16, and there's still a remainder. So continue dividing. So add 1 more 0, pull the 0 down, and then 5 times 8 will be 40. So what is the decimal after you divide? 1.625. Answer number 2. Okay, so fraction is always dividing. Ms. Tong told you many times already. Okay, all right, let's go to number 4. Okay, number 4. If anyone still need to copy, you don't have time to copy, what do? Watch the video, okay? Watch the video because we cannot wait for everyone to finish copying. Otherwise, we'll all be very bored waiting for everybody. Okay, let's go to number 4. What is the length of the pencil sharpener? You need to count the gaps. So how many gaps from 0 to 1? There are 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. 5 gaps, so 5 units. So how big is 5 gaps? So you take 1 minus 0, of course, is 1 cm. So 5 gaps is 1 cm. Then you need to find what is 1 gap. How big is 1 gap? So 1 gap is 1 divided by 5. Now you don't need, you don't need to do this. You can, but you don't have to. You just take 1 over 5 because fraction is also dividing, right? So can you change the denominator into a 10 so that you can convert into a decimal? 5 times 2, 1 times 2, and you get 2 over 10, which is 0.2 cm. So your 1 gap is 0.2 cm. So you are doing shortcut. You don't have to divide, okay? All right, so every gap is 0.2. Then you look at the dotted line. Dotted line is pointing at 2.4. Am I correct? Yeah, 2.4, right? 2.2, then 2.4. And then the other dotted line is pointing at where? You can take 7 minus 0.2, that'll be 6.8. So how long is the pencil sharpener? You take 6.8 and then you minus 2.4. Lesson here, don't do mental sum because it's very dangerous. You should do working so that you don't make any careless mistake. So how long is the pencil sharpener? Answer number 2. Yeah. Okay, let's go to number 5. Arrange the numbers from smallest to largest. Now, even though they are all decimals, you cannot compare. You still cannot compare them because why? They are different decimal places. You need to change them all into the same decimal places. So which is the smallest? The smallest will be, you look at the 3 numbers, it's like 64,780. So what is the smallest number? This must be the smallest number, 64.087, right? That's the smallest, right? Okay, so, and then the next bigger one will be 64.78, and the biggest one will be 64.8. Okay, so what's your answer then? Your answer will be number 3. Okay, yeah. So you have to change all the decimal to make them all the same decimal places. Then you can compare them. Otherwise, you can't compare. Okay, let's go to number 6. Now, number 6, which fraction is bigger than half? Or bigger than 5 over 8? All right, which fraction is bigger than 5 over 8? Now, can you make the denominator the same? So let's compare one by one. So 2 times 4 and 1 times 4. So that is not bigger than 5 over 8. Then how about the other fraction? Can I make the denominator the same? So 3 times 8, and then 2 times 8, and then how about that one? 8 times 3, and then 5 times 3. So what do you have? You have a fraction that's bigger than 15 over 24. Your 16 over 24 is bigger than 15 over 24. So that's your answer already. And you can forget about the other answers. No need to look at the other answers. Okay, all right. Okay, maybe I give you one more example. One more example, okay? So let's look at maybe number 4, all right? Is 7 over 15 bigger than 5 over 8? So can we make the denominator the same? So how to make the denominator the same? You take 15 times 8, also can. That will be 15 times 8 will be 120, and then 7 times 8 will be 56. Then how about the other one? That will be 8 times 15, all right? 8 times 15. And then on top will be 5 times 15, and you will get 75 over 120. And you can see that your number 4 is smaller than 5 over 8. So number 4 is wrong. Okay, so I'm just giving you more examples to understand how to compare the fractions. Okay, so answer number 2. Okay, any questions so far? Are you clear with the lesson for this first 10 minutes? Okay, let's go to the next one, question 7. Okay, now this one, some of you can't do it. You don't know how to do it, but Ms. Ong told you, those of you who are my students, I told you that you need to draw your model. You can even use ratio method or you can use model. So which one do you like? So let's draw the model because fractions are model. So this fraction is talking about the pupils generally. And the other fraction is talking about the boys. So are they talking about the same thing? They are not talking about the same thing. So you cannot make the denominator the same. By now, you should know already, right? Whenever you see fractions, you need to ask whether are they talking about the same group. If they are talking about the same group, you can make the denominator the same. Otherwise, you can't. Then what do? We can still draw the model. So 1/3 is talking about the pupils. Draw a rectangle, cut into 3 boxes, and 1/3 are boys, and label. If your model doesn't have label, it's not a good model. Okay, you draw the first sentence already. Then how? Then look at the other fraction, 2/3 of the boys. So now you should be looking at the model, which is the boys. Over here, you should be looking at this one. And what do you do with the boys? What do we do with the model? You are supposed to cut into 3, right? Cut into 3 boxes because the denominator says so. So cut into 3, 3, every box also 3. And label 2 boxes, wear spectacle, right? And of course, the other 1/3 never wear spectacles. Yep, okay. All right, so what is the ratio of the total girls to the boys who wear spectacles? So can you get your ratio already? Yes, you can. You just look at your model. What do you call the boxes? They are the same. You call them units. So how many girls, how many units of girls are there? There are 6 units of girls. And how many boys wear spectacles? You count. There is only 1 unit. Okay, 1 unit of boys who wear spectacles. So 6. Oh, there's no answer there. How many boys? What is the ratio of the total girls to the boys who wear spectacles? Did I make any mistake? Because it's 6:1.
No, it's supposed to be 2 wear spectacles.
2/3 of the boys wear 2/3. Oh, 2/3 of the boys wear spectacle. Miss Tong saw the arrow sign. Yeah, that should be. I should be counting. I should be circling 2 units. Yeah, 2 units because the arrow sign is pointing at 2. So your ratio will be 6 units of girls to the boys who wear spectacles, which is 2 units. So 6:2, and your simplest form 3:1, and your answer is number 3. Okay, got it? Number 3. So what's the lesson here? Is to draw your model. So once you draw the model, everything becomes clearer. So not hard, right? Those of you who can't solve this problem, you need to apply your method, right? Your method, which is model. Okay, question number 8. Let's look at number 8. And a survey was conducted among 80 pupils to find their favorite pop groups. 25 pupils choose black, pink, 45 pupils choose EXO, and the rest choose BTS. So express the number of pupils who choose BTS as a percentage of those who choose Blackpink. Now, some of you are stuck, you don't know how to get the percentage, but if you remember your P5, there is a very common word that you will see, express. So what do you do when you see the word express? And what did Ms. Long tell you about percentage? Change the percentage to fraction. All right, always get your fraction before you convert to percentage, because fraction is percentage best friend. All right, if you have problem with percentage, then you think about fraction. So can I write my fraction first? So what is my fraction? Express the pupils who choose BTS, which is how many? Which is, okay, we need to find out, right? So 80 minus 25 and minus 45 to get how many pupils choose BTS. So I'm going to use my calculator so we can do a bit faster. This is simple calculation. So you have 10 pupils who choose BTS. And how do you get your fraction? So express the pupils who choose BTS as a fraction of those who choose Blackpink, which is 25. So 10 over 25. So that's your fraction already. Then how do you get your percentage? Shortcut. Make the denominator 100 times 4, and then you times 4, and you get 40 over 100, and that will be 40%. So 40% is your answer. Clear? Understand? Okay, all right. So if the lesson is okay, then just give a thumbs up or something, right? So that I know that everybody is doing okay. If anybody is struggling, all right, if you are struggling, what do you do? Okay, just stay back after the lesson, right? Stay back after the lesson, and then we talk about what you are struggling. Okay, question 9, algebra. Now, we all have not learned algebra, but I still have to go through. Okay, so how to do this? Tom was paid 19D minus 12 over 4 for his work, where D was the number of orders he delivered. So if Tom delivered 20 orders, how much was he paid? So your D is equal to 20 because D is talking about the number of orders. So 19D minus 12 over 4. So how much was he paid? So your D is equal to 20, all right? It means that D equal to 20 lah. So 19 times 20, okay, 19 times 20, then you minus 12 and then divide by 4. Okay, shortcut, cover the 0, 19 times 2 will be 38, and put back the 0, and then you minus 12 and divide by 4. Okay, so what is 380 minus 12? You do your working. So 380 minus 12, you will get how many? You will get 368, and then do your long division, all right, do your dividing, and you will get $92. So how much was he paid? He was paid $92. So this is algebra. Okay, many of you, all of you haven't learned that. Okay, but this is just a little introduction. Okay, I think you will learn that in the next semester. Okay, let's go to question number 10. All right, question number 10. Okay, question number 10. Some of you get confused. Okay, which point is southwest of? Of is from. Okay, so you start from A and then you go southwest. Okay, but before you can do that, you need to, do you do this? Because if you didn't, then you're going to have a mistake. You need to put down the 8-point compass. So you have your northeast, southeast, southwest, and your northwest, so that you don't do mentally. If you do mentally, you will make mistakes. So which point is southwest from? Start from A, and then what do? You go southwest, and where are you going to? You're going to D. Right, you're going to D. Answer number 1. Should not make any mistake. All right, if you're still making mistake, then it's maybe because of the word off. So you need to know what is off. Off means start from. Okay, start from there. and then you go southwest. Okay, question 11. Okay, these are all 1 mark question. Okay, Anson, start your video, Anson. Okay, question 11. How do you find angle X? Okay, you can see that there are 2 lines that are equal. How do you know that? Because there are markings there. All right, so is there any easy angle we can find? Yes, X. Every time you see X, you have vertically opposite angles. It means that opposite angles are equal. All right, and then which 2 angles in the isosceles triangle are the same? Which 2 angles are the same? You take your fingers, all right, your fingers, and you trace to the end of the 2 sides they are equal. These are the 2 sides that are equal. The angles at the end of the 2 sides are identical. So can you find each of these 2 angles? 180 minus 70 and then divide by 2. So you have 110 divide by 2 and you get 55 degrees. Now, lesson here, you must put your numbers inside. If your picture is very clean, then you will make mistakes. So all the answers numbers are in the diagram. So how do you find angle X? Angle on the straight line is 180 degrees minus 55 and you get 125 degrees. So answer number 4. Yep. Okay, those of you who got number 1, number 2, definitely wrong because the angle is obtuse. It's obtuse angle, must be bigger than 90. All right. Okay, question 12, ratio. To make some fruit punch, Mrs. Tan mixed 600 ml of orange juice with 1.4 liters of guava juice. So how much orange juice will Mrs. Tan use if she needed 10 liters of fruit punch? Now, there's no ratio in this problem, all right? There's no ratio here. So which means that you can use a method to find the answer. What's the method? Ratio method. So what's the ratio? It means that orange juice to the guava juice, you mix them together. What do you call it? You call it fruit punch. All right, this is a little bit of language, right? It's like your total. When you mix them together, is fruit punch. All right, you need to change the ml and the liters and make them the same. Make them the same unit sign. So 1.4 liter, how do I change into ml? So you take 1.4 times 1,000. Okay, because 1 liter is 1,000 ml. All right, so how do you shift the decimal point? Shift to the right, 1, 2, and 3. And there's an empty basket. Empty basket, put a 0. Arrowhead, put decimal point. And how many ml? 1,400.0 ml. Okay, so once you have the same units, then you can write your ratio. So what's the orange juice? Which is 600 ml is to 1,400 ml. And what's the total? Total is 2,000 ml. Yep. Okay, then how much orange juice would Mrs. Tan use if she needed 10 liters, 10 liters, 10 liters, which is 10,000, right? 10,000. So what do you think? What is your missing number? So you can times 5. And how do you times 5? Why do you times 5? Because you take 10,000 divide by 2,000. You get 5. So 2,000 times 5 is 10,000. And then 1,400 times 5 will be 7,000. And then 600 times 5 will be 3,000. Isn't that your equivalent ratio? So how much orange juice will she use? Isn't that 3,000 ml, which is also 3 liters? So there's no ratio here, but what can you do? You can use a method called ratio method to solve the problem. Okay, ratio method. All right, clear? Yep, Caleb?
I use grouping for this.
You can also use grouping. Yeah, actually, there are more than one way to solve. There's more than one way to solve. Yeah, that's why math can do well. You can do well if you know your methods. Okay, question 13. Let's go on to the next one. Question 13. Okay, this one. Then you tell me some don't know how to do this, right? Then we sound Kong. Why Kong? Because the question is hard because there's a fraction, there's a percentage, but how to make it simpler? Didn't you think about changing the percentage into a fraction? 30% is 30 over 100, 3 over 10. So how to make the problem simpler? You have to change the percentage to fraction, everything becomes fraction. Isn't that easier? And then the 20%, you can also change it into a fraction, which is 20 over 100 and 1/5. And then when the whole problem is fraction problem, what is your method? Your method is model drawing. All right, it's a very clear method. So Mr. Stan earns $3,000 a month. All right. So this is the entire money that he earned. And you can see that I'm not solving. I'm not solving. And I draw the first sentence already. He saved 1/10 of eats. Oh, what is this fraction talking about? It's talking about the word eats. And what is this fraction talking about? The word eats also. Talking about the same money, the same thing. So I can make the denominator the same, but already the same, right? No need to do anything. And what is this fraction talking about? The remainder, the remaining amount. So is it talking about the same thing also? No, it's not. There are 3 fractions, only 2 fractions are talking about the same thing. All right, and then the fraction that's not talking about the same thing, you don't make the denominator the same. Okay, once you understand that, we can draw the model. So you cut the rectangle into 10. All right, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. He saved 1 box label. Your model must have label, and then he spent 3 boxes on food. So continue to label over here, 3 boxes on food. Where's your remainder? Your remainder is on the right side, which is over here. This is called the remainder, all right? And how many boxes is that? There are 6. And you look at the last fraction, you have to cut the remainder into 5 boxes. But you look at your model, you only have 6 boxes. How do you cut into 5 boxes? You cannot cut into 5 boxes, then what do? Drop down. Okay, this is basic model drawing. Your P5, how you draw the remainder model. So you drop down and then you cut into 5 boxes and then you label. So he spent 1/5 on transport and he gave the rest to his mother. So how much did he spend on transport every month? That's your model. Okay, no solving. I'm not solving. Do you realize that? You draw the model first. After you draw already, then you solve. Then you look at the model and then you can see there are big boxes and small boxes. So what do? You must also know what to do. There are 6 units on top or 6 boxes on top. And there are 5 there are 5 bigger boxes below. This is what you do. So every big box, 6 units and so on. Every small box will be 5 units. And if you count all the units, isn't that 30 units and 30 units below and above? Same number of units above and below. Do the same for every box over here. And the model becomes super clear already, right? Very clear already. So you look at all the units. How many units are there all together? So you count all the units. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 50 units is how much? $3,000, right? Then you find 1 unit, no calculator. What do? You have to shortcut, right? Divide by 50. So you take out 1 0, cancel 1 0, cancel 1 0, and then 300 divided by 5. That will be 60, right? 60. And how much did he spend on transport? Which is 6 unit. 6 unit. You look at the question mark over here. And how much is 6 unit? So 60 times 6, $360. Answer number 2. Okay. All right. So change the percentage into a fraction, and then the whole problem becomes a fraction problem and your model drawing. Okay, that's your model drawing. Okay, question 14, and then some of you also can't do it. You can't solve it because you have some difficulty. Then Mr. asks you what's your method. There is a method here. What kind of question is this? It's quite easy to recognize this question. What kind of question is this? Sulin wanted to buy 9 boxes of blueberries, but she was short. I'm sure you have seen this kind of question, right? She was short of $10.90. That is your shortage. In the end, she bought 5 boxes of blueberries and had $3.30 left. That is your leftover excess. So you have shortage. Okay, you have a shortage and there's a excess. So I think you're quite familiar. So what method is that? Excess and shortage model. So do you know how to draw the excess and shortage model? So how do you do that? Okay, let's draw. Okay, now you draw a rectangle. Your model always begins with a rectangle. It's always a rectangle. And that is his money. So Sulin wanted to buy 9 boxes, but she doesn't have enough. And this is how you draw the shortage. There is an invisible box there that doesn't belong to him. With that money, she can buy 9 boxes of blueberries. Okay? So you must have clear arrow sign and clear labelings. In the end, did she buy 9 boxes? No, she didn't. She bought 5 boxes. Cuts. Labels must always put outside. Labels always outside. Numbers, units put in the model. And where is the leftover? This is the money left. And how much is that? That is your $3.30 left. And this is called what? This is called the shortage. Okay, the shortage. So how much did Sulin spend on the blueberries? Where do you put the question mark? Your question mark must be here lah. Right, she bought 5 boxes, right? And your model is done. That's your model already. All right, so after you draw the model, what are you supposed to do? You're supposed to compare. Compare means how many more, how many less. You look at the boxes, okay? Look at the boxes, okay? And then you go and see how many more boxes here. How many more boxes is here? So 9 minus 5, you get 4. 4 boxes. And how much is 4 boxes? You add the numbers inside. So $3.30. Okay, I'm going to use my calculator so we can do a bit faster. So 4 boxes is you take $3.30 and then you plus $10.90. Okay, and you will get 14, right? $14.20. And then the next step, you find 1 box. Okay, 1 box, and then you go and divide by 4. Okay, do you want me to divide? Do you want me to show you how to divide the decimal? Raise your hand if you want me to show you how to divide decimal. Okay, then let's do that. Okay, it's okay, right? If you need help, then I will just go through. $14.20 and then divide by 4. Okay, how to divide decimal? What times 4 equal 14? 3 times 4 is 12. Then you minus, raise up the decimal point, pull the 2 down, and then 5 times 4 is 20. And then you minus and put the 0 down, and then 5 times 4 is 20. So how much is 1 box? $3.55. So how much did she spend on the blueberries, which is 5 boxes? Then you just times 5. Okay, now this one I think you know how to times, right? So I will skip the working, and the answer is $17.75. And whatever numbers you found, it is important that you put the numbers into your model. Okay, so your model becomes very clear. Excess and shortage model. All right. Okay, question number 15. Okay, question number 15 is a trick question, right? It's a trick question. What's the matter here? You will need to draw a diagram. So Run bought 2 carton boxes. The volume of the small carton box was 2,700 cm3. The length, breadth, and height of the large carton box were twice as long as those of the small carton box. So what was the volume of the large carton box? So did anyone choose answer 1? I think many of you chose answer 1, right? You are tricked already. Okay, you are tricked. So the answer is not number 1. Okay, now you will need to draw a diagram, and then you will see more clearly. So the small carton box, okay, small carton box. Okay, I'm not very good at drawing, something like that. Okay, this is a small carton box. So method here, draw a diagram. And there's a large carton box, which is twice the length, breadth, and height of the smaller carton box. Okay, something like that. Okay, something like that. Okay, now look carefully. 1 unit. Okay, let's call it something like that. 1 unit, 1 unit. Okay, something like that. Okay. Of course, the question never say there's a cube. It never says it's a cube. But I just use the one unit to show you something. Okay, 1 unit to show you something. Right, but it doesn't mean that it's a cube. So if the length of the carton box is twice, that will be like 2 units. And then the breadth is also twice, also like 2 units. And then the height is also twice, that's also 2 units. So can you cut the big carton box into smaller carton boxes? How to cut? Look at what I'm doing. Cut, okay? See? Okay, and let me draw a bit nicely. So I'm cutting the larger carton box into smaller carton boxes. All right, so that you will have units. Okay, so which means that 1 small carton box, this is a small carton box, is over here. This is your 1 small carton box. So how many small carton boxes make up the large carton box? How many small carton boxes make up the large carton boxes? Do you see that there are how many of them? There are 8 of them, right? 8 of them. 1, 2, 3, 4, and then below got 4 also. So 4 on top, 4 below. So there are 8 small carton boxes that make up 1 big carton box. So what is the volume of the large carton box? So there are 8 small carton box, and here there's only 1. So you take what? 2,700, which is the volume of 1 small carton box, and you times 8. And what do you get? So you do your working. So 2,700 times 8, you will get 21,600 centimeter cube, which is the volume of the large carton box. And your answer is number 4. Number 4. Do you understand what I'm doing? Do you understand? All right. So the large carton box is twice the length of the small carton box, and twice the breadth, right? And also twice the height. That's why you can see that the length here is 2 times, the breadth here is 2 times, and the height is 2 times. And then what do? Cut it into all small carton boxes, and you have a total of 8 small carton boxes. Any question? Are you clear? Are you clear or not? You look so quiet. Clear? Okay, any questions you can ask after the lesson. Okay, after the lesson, you can ask me. All right, because we are still at question 15. Got to move on already. Okay, so let's go to your question 16. All right, question 16. Okay, so this question, take note, this was one of the PSLE problems last time. Okay, in the last few years, it came out in one of the PSLE papers. Okay, let's look at question 16. How many more triangles must be shaded so that 3/4 of the figure is shaded? What is the fraction talking about? It's talking about the figure. And you look at the denominator. Are there only 4 Are there only 4 triangles? No. How many triangles are there? You can count the triangles. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. 10 times 4. I think there are 40, right? There are 40 triangles altogether, if you count correctly. And what's the numerator? Missing numerator? 4 times 10, 3 times 10. So you want 30 triangles to be shaded. Okay, by the way, the original diagram wasn't like that. Okay, the student go and cut it into all triangles. That's why it's easy for you. It's supposed to be square. It's supposed to be rectangles and triangles. Not everything all triangles. So the student has actually cut for you already. So you want 30 triangles to be shaded. So how many triangles are already shaded? So you count. So I think there are 5 triangles already shaded. So you will need to color another 25 more. Okay. All right, let's go on to the next one. Question 17. Question 17, anybody who do this, okay, is not very good. Anyone do this? That is not your method. Okay, what should you be doing? You should be shortcut. 750 times 80, you should cover the 0 and just do 75 times 8, which is faster because you're only multiplying by 1 digit. Okay, 75 times 8, let me use my calculator. Okay, let me just show you the working. 5 times 8 is 40, 7 times 8 is 56, then plus 4, that will be 60. So put down 600. How many zeros do you see? You cover 2 zeros, so put back 2 zeros. So your answer is 60,000. Okay, shortcut. So it's better to multiply by 1 digit than to multiply by 2 digit. Okay, all right, 2 digit is a bit harder. Okay, next one for operations. Okay, you need to do what is more important, the bracket. But inside the bracket, there is a minus and divide inside the bracket. So which is more important inside the bracket? Arrow sign. Arrow sign, the arrow sign, the one that is more important to do. So you write down everything you see, 18 plus 30 minus, put the answer. Okay, put the answer there. And don't take out the bracket, and then continue to write out everything. All right, next step. Arrow sign again, arrow sign to show what you need to do. And then you have 18 plus 28 times 20. All right, you can see the statement is getting shorter and shorter, step by step. This is how you do, right? There's only one way to do this question. It's like this, is this way, okay? Any other way that you're using, most likely you're gonna end up with mistakes. Okay, so next step, times. All right, how to times? Shortcut, 28 times 2, 56, and put 1 0 behind, and then 18 plus 560. So step by step. And then you add them together, that will be 578. Okay, everyone should be only doing this way. There's only one way to do this. Okay, no other way to show this. There's no other kinds of representation. Okay, all right, question 19. Okay, now this one you get confused, right? But remember, Ms. Ong told you, fraction is dividing. If I have something that is, if I have 6 divided by 4, then what is that? That can also be written as a fraction. You realize that? Miss, some of you, what do? You go and do this, right? 6 divided by 4, nothing wrong. You can also do that. You can also do that. Yeah, also can. But otherwise, your 6 divided by 4 is also 6/4 times 1/4. Remember, this is only 1 mark. 1 mark means not a lot of steps, only a few steps only. Right? Sometimes you did a lot of extra steps, but actually it's only a few steps. So 6/4 times 1/4, cancel, put the answer there, divide by 2, put the answer there, 6 divided by 2, put the answer there, and then 3 times 1, and then 4 times 2. And that's how you get 3/8. So what's the lesson here? Now, the lesson here is your dividing can be written as a fraction, all right, which is 6/4. Question 20, timeline, okay, timeline. So, and this is your 24-hour clock. So you need to draw a timeline. And you need to change the 24-hour clock into a 12-hour clock. So that is easier because 12-hour clock is easier than 24-hour clock. So what is the 12-hour clock? The hour is greater than 12, or is 12 and bigger. So that's PM. So 21 minus 12, you get 9:45 PM. Okay, so you must know how to change into a 12-hour clock. And Ji Xiong took an overnight train. The train left the station at 9:45 PM and arrived 8 hours, 50 minutes later. What time did he arrive? Okay, so you jump. All right, so you need to jump 8 hours. But it's a bit hard to jump. Okay, don't worry. There is something called nearest hour. Okay, in primary 3, you learned that. Jump to the nearest hour. So from 9:45 to 10 o'clock, what's the nearest hour? Okay, let me just write a bit nicely. Your 10 PM is also 10.00 lah, 10.00. And that 00 is also like 60 minutes. Okay, that 00 also like 60 minutes. So 60 minus 45, you have jumped 15 minutes. Okay, 15 minutes. Okay, so now you need to jump what? Jump 8 hours. Okay, how to jump 8 hours? You can do some finger counting, right? 8 hours. So what time is that? That will be, you use your finger to count, that will be 6 AM, right? Yeah, 6 AM. And then you jump another how many more minutes? You can see that there's a 50 minutes here, right? So you take 50 minus 15. So you will need to jump another 35 minutes. Okay, if I make any mistake, let me know. Okay, so you need to jump another 35 minutes. So what time did the train arrive? 6:35 AM. Okay, that's the answer. But you need to change it to 24-hour clock. This is AM. AM means you don't add 12. You just put the 0 in front, 06:35. Okay, understand? Got it? All right, let me just double check. Okay, we still need to look at the answer key to see whether it's right or wrong. Okay, because I'm not looking at the answer key. Okay, so the answer is, 6:35, 06:35. Okay, any questions so far before we move on to the 2-mark questions? So do you have a lot of mistakes so far? So far, the questions are not really very hard yet, but it's definitely harder than the paper 1. Okay, there are more difficult problems compared to the P5 paper 1. Okay, let's look at question 21. Okay, the cost of printing 200 name cards is $16. What is the cost of printing one name sticker? Now, some of you are confused. You don't know whether 200 divided by 16 or 16 divided by 200. But what did I tell you for those of you who are my students? 200 name cards, write down like this. Write down like this. Okay, and then you're supposed to find one name card, right? So one name card, and you can change the dollars into cents. Avoid decimal, avoid decimal. When you write $16.00, that is a decimal. Decimal will give you more work. So change it to whole number, which is 1,600 cents. All right, so what do you do? All right, what do you do? You want to change, you want to what? Okay, let me just write a bit nicely. Hold on for a while first. Let me just erase this part. Change the $16 into 1,600 cents. And then what divide by what? 200 become 1. How to do that? You must divide by 200, right? To get one name card, you have to divide by 200. Then the other side, you don't have to think already because it's the same. And then you use your shortcut, 1,600, and then divide by 200. You cancel 2 zeros, also cancel 2 zeros, and you will get 8, right? 8. So how much is one name card? 8 cents. Yeah, 8 cents. Oh, but there's a dollar sign. Okay, there's a dollar sign given to you. So you must write $0.08. Okay, that's your answer. Okay, do you get the answer correct? So some of you are confused whether is it 200 divided by 16 or 16 divided by 200. Then you should be doing this way. you should write in this way. All right. Okay, question 22, angles. This is also not very hard. What do you know about parallelogram? Opposite angles are equal, right? Opposite angles are equal. So you look at the parallelogram, and before that, you need to do something. You need to put the question mark first. All right. And then then what do you do next? You look for easy angle. Opposite angles in the parallelogram are equal, opposite angles. And then can you find the question mark? Angle on a straight line. All right, straight line is 180 degrees minus 122. And what's the question mark? Which is your 58 degrees. So you have a lucky question because it's supposed to be 1 mark, but it is a 2-mark question here. Okay, it's supposed to be 1 mark only. Okay, all right, let's go on to question 23. Okay, question 23. The average mass of 20 parcel is 2 kilogram and 56 gram. What is the total mass? Now, to find the total mass, how do you find? You take all the parcel, and you times the average, okay, which is 2 kilogram and 56 grams, but you can't multiply because it's kilogram and grams. So what do? Change the kilogram and grams into what? 2056 grams. Okay, all right. And then what do? Okay, let me just turn it the other way around. Okay, then it looks a bit easier to see. 2056 grams times 20, and try to do shortcut. Shortcut means what? It means you cover the zero, right? Cover the zero, and you just take 2056 times 2 can already, all right? This is a shortcut. So you do your working, and you will get 4112, and then put back the 0. And then that will be your grams. But you need to change it to kilogram because there's a unit here, right? So how do you change it to kilogram? You have to divide by 1000. So 41120 and divide by 1000. But how to divide? You have to make the whole number into a decimal, right? You have to create a decimal point. Then you shift to the left, 1, 2, and 3. So how many kilogram? That will be 41.12. No need to put the 0 there. No need because it's redundant. So just put 41.12 kilogram. Are you clear? Clear? All right, clear so far? Okay, so let's go on to the next one. Question 24. All these are like quite easy. All these are like 1 mark, 1 mark. Okay, these are like 1 mark question. But in this exam paper, it's 2 marks. Okay, this is the one. Okay, this is the one where you need to pay a lot of attention here. Now, how to do this? There is a way to show you. Okay, there's a way to get this answer. You need to write like this. Okay, your rate is under rates. When you have a topic under rate, how do you present your steps? 3 chefs work together to bake 1,200 cupcakes in 8 hours. This is how you present your steps. Okay, if you never do this way, you find that you find it a bit hard to solve already if you don't do this way. How long will 5 chefs work together to bake the same number of cupcakes? So you leave some space in between because you're going to jump later. So 5 chefs will take how long to bake 1,200 cupcakes? All right, how long? Okay, so how do you do? Okay, now this one, pay attention now. There's something very important here. Did any one of you you want to find 1 chef, right? 1 chef. So Ms. Tong told you before, you divide by 3, right? Divide by 3. And then you want to keep the cupcakes the same because you want the same number of cupcakes baked by 5 chefs. So you want to keep the same number of cupcakes. Did anyone also divide by 3? I think you divide by 3, right? Now, if you think carefully, more people, less time taken to do work, right? More people, more chefs, you have less time to bake the cupcakes. When you have less people, less workers, then you will need more time to bake your cupcakes already. So which means that you cannot divide by 3, right? It's something called Dombalik, it's inverse proportion, or your teachers will call it inverse proportion. Okay, but what is that? It means that just remember that if there are more people, you take less time. If there are less people, you take more time. Agree? More time to do work. Okay, so it means that you cannot divide by 3. So then what do you do over here? You have to opposite times 3. Times 3. Do you see something now? Do you see something now? All right, less people. more time to work, more time to bake your cupcakes. So this one chef will take how long to bake 1,200 cupcakes? 24 hours. 24 hours, right? Okay. All right. Now can we jump? Then you tell me stop. Okay, times 5. And then you also times 5. Then go on already. Go on already. Because why? More people, more time? No, more people, less time. Less people, more time to do work. So I got 5 chefs. So if there are 5 chefs, then how? They will take lesser time. So I opposite, divide by 5. Do you understand? This is a P6. Okay, this is a problem that came out. I mean, this is a very commonly tested question in the exam. Okay, so what do you do? 24 divided by 5, then you do your dividing. So 4 times 5, 20, and then there's a remainder 4, and then change it to a, don't go and get decimal because it's extra work, extra step. So just take your fraction, 4 and 4/5 hour. Okay, so 5 chefs will take 4 and 4/5 hour to bake the same number of cupcakes. And you don't have to change to decimal because it's more steps. So we don't want to do more steps. Understand? This is an important lesson. This question is something that you haven't seen before, but now you have seen already. There are some questions that you haven't seen yet, but now you saw already. So which means that you should know how to do the next time. Okay? Okay, question 25 is your algebra. So we will still go through the algebra. Okay, now question 25, some of you can't do it. Okay, then what's the method here? Not really a method, but just a simple way to help you. Change the letter Y because it makes you confused. Change the Y to any number you like, 100 lah, anything, any number you like. Okay, but don't have too big. So Sharon has 100 sweets. So when you change it to 100, then the whole problem becomes a primary 3 problem already, right? The whole problem becomes a primary 4 or primary 3 problem. So Sharon has 100 sweets. Later, she bought twice as many. So you must times 2. So she must have bought 200, right? So how many did she have altogether now? So 200 plus 100, that must be 300 altogether now. And then what did she do after she bought twice as many? She gave away 25 sweets. All right, so you take all the sweets that she has and give away 25 sweets and you get the remaining sweets. And what did she do with the remaining sweets? She shared the remaining sweets with 2 sisters. So what do you think is your next step? You take the remaining sweets and then divide by 2 and then get your answer lah, your answer. Okay, now how does this help us to get the answer? How does this help us to get the algebra answer? You just have to look at the steps. Okay, look at the steps. What steps? Look at the first step. What's the first step? Times. So y is 100, right? Of course, it's not 100, but it's y. So y times 2y. Copy the steps. Okay, what's the method here? Copy the steps on the left side. And then later you have to do what? You have to plus 100, right? So 2y plus 100. Okay, copy the step. So the second step is plus. And then what's the next step? You have to minus. So you take 2y plus 100 minus what? Minus 25 because she gave away 25 sweets. And that will give you the remaining. So 2y plus 75 after you minus. Okay, and then what is the final step? Divide. So your final step will be 2y plus 75 and then divide by 2. So how many sweets did she give to every sister? So answer. Yeah, can you see that? Yeah, so what is the lesson here? The lesson here is to give a simple number, a simple number, and then you just work out your steps. So what's the first step? First step is to times, then later plus, and then later minus, and then the last step is divide, and then you just copy, just copy, all right? Change the 100 back to y, and then just copy the steps, and you get your answer ready. Okay, but of course you haven't learned that lah. So Miss Ong just teach you first, so that later on when I teach you, then we don't have to talk about all this again. Okay, can we move on? All right, let's go on to question 26 already.
So there are many ones you're wrong at.
Which one? Say again.
The first of all is 2y plus 1y. So it should equal.
2y plus 1.
It's
Oh,
not-
yeah. 2y plus, yeah, Miss Ong. 2y. Oh yeah, Mr. forgot the 100. Yeah, I did.
It should not be divided by 2. It should be divided by 3. So it should be 3y minus 25.
Oh yeah. Okay. All right. I agree. Okay, I make a mistake here. Yeah, somebody is very alert. Okay, let me just go through one more time. Mr. Ong I make a mistake here because I forgot to change back to y. Okay, all right. Okay, so let's copy the steps again. Let's do one more time. So we change the 100 back to y. Okay, let's do one more time. And she bought twice as many. So you have to take y times 2. That'll be 2y. And then you have to plus, right? The second step is plus, and that was a mistake I made. I forgot to change the 100 back to y. So change back to y, and now you got 3y already, right? 3y. And then what's the next step? The next step is to minus. All right, she gave away 25 sweets. So 3y minus 25 to get the remainder. And then what did she do with the remainder? Oh, Miss Nami, this big mistake. She shared the remainder sweets with her 2 sisters. I think most of you also made the same mistake as me. You divide by 2, right? But you should divide by 3 because she shared with her 2 sisters. So you take the remainder sweets and divide. Divide is a fraction. So divide by how many person sharing? 3. Mr. Again divide by 2. Okay, Mr. Make a careless mistake. All right, that was a very common mistake also. Okay, so this is your that's your answer in terms of y. Is it better now? Is it better now? Okay, now the answer is better already, right? Yeah, so if you see something, let me know, right? Sometimes it's not, we'll also make some mistakes like you. Okay, all right, let's move on to question 26. Right, question 26. Okay, if you are still copying, watch the video. Okay, watch the video to copy. Now the table shows Aini's score for her mid-year exam. The average score of all the subjects was 72. So what was the average score for English and Science? Now, every time there is an average, you're given average, you can always find the total. So what is the total marks? You take the average and times how many subjects. You take 72 and then you times 4, you get the total marks, which is 288. And put it onto your diagram. Your diagram cannot be very clean. When you put something on your diagram, you make yourself easier, right? You give yourself, you help yourself to solve better. All right, then what do? Then you can find what? You can find these 2 missing scores already. Because how? You just have to add up the math and the Malay. So 85 plus 97, you will get 182. And then you take the grand total, which is 288, and then you minus 182, you will get the total of the other 2 subjects, right? Which is 106, okay, 106. So when you put your numbers onto the diagram, it helps you to see more clearly. All right, so can you find the average score of English and Science? So how do you find average? Average means you must divide. If you never divide, you did not find average. So 106 divided by 2, you will get 53, which is the average score of English and Science. Do you get the answer correct? Okay, clear so far? Okay, let's move on. Okay, question 27. Okay, now, Jermaine bought some scented candles and tubes of hand lotion from a shop. She spent an equal amount of money on the scented candles and tubes. What was the least number of scented candles Jermaine bought? Method here, grouping. You can use grouping. So what's the trick? What's the trick? All right, now the trick here is this. You have equal amounts of money. So what can you do? Can you make the money equal in the diagram? So in the diagram, can you make the money equal? Like for example, what do you see? Now you can see that there's a $10 and there's a $35. So can you just have to make them equal? So how to get the common number? How to get the same number? Lesson here, shortcut, get the multiple, common multiple. How to get the common multiple? Very easy. You just look at the bigger number and what's the multiple of 35, which is 70. Can 70 divide by 10? Yes. So you skip a lot of numbers and that's your number that you want to make. All right, so you change the money into $70 and then here also $70. So you times 7, something like your rates, okay, your rates. And then the other side, you also times 7, you get 42 is $70. And then the other side here, you have to times 2, which is 8 for $70. 8 for $70 also. All right. So what was the least number? What was the least number? So the least number must be what? 42 plus 8. Because $70 is your smallest smallest amounts of money, which is common. So the least number of candles that she bought is what? Candles. So look for candles lah, which is 42 lah. So she bought 42 candles. That was the least number of standard candles that she bought. Okay, understand? Are you clear so far? Clear? Okay, yeah. Method here, we can use grouping, but we can also do this way, which is a bit faster. So paper 1 is about being fast because it's only 1 hour. So you will need to apply shortcuts and sometimes your methods also. Okay, your methods. Okay, let's say again. Okay, who is talking? Okay, Wenri, are you talking? Can you say one more? Okay, can you say one more time? I can't really understand what you say.
Fast and steady.
Oh, fast and steady. Fast and steady. Okay, all right, okay. Okay, let's go on to the next one. Okay, now let's go to the next question. Okay, now this one I need to teach you. All right, all of us have learned circles, but I think I need to talk about that so that those who are my students, those of you who are my students, then we can go faster. Okay, go faster when we come to this topic. Okay, now listen carefully. This is circles. You're supposed to find area of the figure. So how do you find the area of the figure? Read the question first. AB equal to BC equal to CD. Mark out. Mark out. You got to mark out. All right. And what does it tell you? It tells you that 60 divided by 3, that must be how many? 20. All right, this one everybody should know, even if you don't know how to, or if you haven't learned this topic, but you should know how to do this. All right, there are three equal sides, so you divide by 3. Yeah, so every side is 20 cm, right? Okay, how do you find the area of the logo? Now, everybody copy down. Right, there's a formula that you must remember. Area of a circle equal pi r square. Okay, pi r square. You have to memorize. Okay, this is something that you have to memorize. And all my students who are coming next week, you need to bring your calculator. All right, calculator, no calculator, I won't be lending you my calculator because you need to work out the area. Okay, so calculator is a must. Okay, now, then how about this figure, which is not a circle? If you look carefully, there's no circle there, but it's actually a what? It's actually a semicircle and also a smaller semicircle. All right, so can we find the area of the semicircle here? So how do we do that? Okay, now to find area of semicircle, very simple. Area of semicircle, which I will draw like that, just put the half in front. Half in front times the formula times pi r square. Okay, what is pi r square? Now, pi is given to you, all right? The exam paper will let you know what is pi, which is 3.14. What is radius? What is r? R is radius. So where is the radius? Now, the radius is over here. When there is a circle, every circle has a dot. What do you call this line when it cuts the circle into half? You call it the diameter, all right? The line that cuts the circle into half, you call it the diameter. And how is it represented? It's represented by the letter D. Okay, D for diameter. And if you cut the diameter into half, what do you call half of the diameter? You call it a radius. So how do you spell the radius? So radius is R. Okay, so radius is half of a diameter. Okay, okay, can we solve already? Yes, we can solve already. Can you find the radius of this semicircle? Which is what? You take 60 and divide by 2, that must be 30. So the radius of this semicircle is 30 cm. All right, then use the formula that you see. Half times pi times what? Radius times radius. Okay, got it? Okay, no calculator. This is a paper 1. This is a paper 1. Then how? There's no calculator for this kind of working. What do? Go and take 3.14 divided by 2. All right, 3.14 divided by 2. You can do your dividing. Okay, I'm going to use my calculator quickly. You divide by 2 already. You will get 3.14 divided by 2 is 1.57 times 30 times 30, right? Without calculator. And then what do? Cover the zeros. 1.57 times 3 times 3. What is 3 times 3? 3 times 3 is 9. So you take 1.57 times 9. Okay. and then put back the zeros later, right? Which is how many zeros? Which is 2 zeros. Okay. All right, this one might be a little bit hard, might be a little bit hard if you don't know your shortcuts. And then you work out, do the working. So what is 1.57 times 9? So do the working, you will get 14.13 times 100. And then you will need to shift the decimal point to the right. So 1 and 2. And what number is that? 14 or 1,413 centimeters square, which is the area of the big semicircle. Not the answer yet, because it's only the big semicircle. Okay, all right. So this part may not be quite easy because you will need to know your shortcuts and shift the decimal point. Okay, how do you find the other smaller semicircle? Then you will need to know the radius. So what's the radius? So the radius, let me use a green color. So this is the semicircle. You will need to cut the diameter into half. And how long is the radius? Which is 20, right? 20. If you look carefully, the radius of the green color semicircle is 20. All right, so half, all right, semicircle means half, right? Half times pi r square. Okay, what is your pi? 3.14. What is your radius? 20 times 20. And then what do? Do the same thing. You divide 3.14 divided by 2. You will get 1.57. Then times, what do? Can just take 20 times 20, 400 also can. And then what do? You cover the zeros. So 1.57, you times 4, cover the zeros, and you will get 6.28. And don't forget to times 100. Okay, times 100 because there's a decimal point here. So you have to times 100 to shift the decimal point to the right. Okay, so when you shift the decimal point to the right, what happened? 1 and 2. And you will get 628.0. So what's the area of 628.0? What's the area of the small semicircle? That will be 628 centimeters square. Okay, this part not easy, not easy because your shortcut lah. Okay, it's about your shortcut. Then how do you find the area of the logo? Then you must take this one and then plus this one, add together to get the area of the figure. So you add them together. So 1413 plus 628, and the area of the logo is 2041 centimeters square. Is there any shortcut to do this? Mr. Can't think of any shortcut. But the way to do it is to know your formula. You must know your formula to work out the answer. Okay, if I know a shortcut, I'll let you know the next time. Okay, there's a shortcut. All right. Okay, so quite a lot of things to write, all right, a lot of things to work out. You can see that, of course, you may be able to do a bit faster, right? You can see I have a lot of steps, but maybe when you do, you might have lesser steps, right? You might have lesser steps, so it's fine. Okay, all right, let's quickly go to question 29. All right, we are over time already. Okay, question 29, shortcut. Is there a shortcut? Not everything also shortcut. Is there a method? Not everything also method. It tests you on your basic. Sometimes it tests you on your basic. Okay, so if you read the question, the figure is made of square A, square B, C, D, G, and there's a bigger square, and there are two shaded triangles, which is here. Okay, it's not very clear, but these are the two shaded triangles. And the area of the small square is 16. So immediately 4 cm by 4 cm. Okay, 4 times 4 is 16, and the area of the bigger square is 10 times 10. Okay, you don't know how to do, at least you should do this. You should do this. You cannot leave the answer, cannot leave the question blank. So what is the shaded area of the figure? And I think we can do, because why? This is your basic, your formula. How do you find the area of the triangle? The base, what's the base? How long is the base? 10 minus 4, 6. And what's the height of this shaded triangle? 4. Okay, the height must be always right angle to the base. I'm looking at this triangle. Okay, the blue triangle. So what's the area of that blue triangle? Half times base times height, and then you cancel, divide by 2, and you get 12 cm square, which is the area of the blue triangle. All right, the next one. Okay, what's the area of the red triangle? What's the base? The base is 4. And the height must be right angle to the base, which is over here. The height is 10. I hope you know how to find the height. Now, if you have difficulty finding the height, take your ruler. Okay, take a ruler, and it has to be a transparent ruler. Okay, this will help you to find the height. Take a transparent ruler. Okay, put the ruler onto the base. Okay, look carefully for those of you who have difficulty trying to find the height of the triangle. Take your ruler, put on the base of the green triangle, shift it left and right until you see a line that's same side as the ruler. You see a line that's parallel with the ruler, and that is the height of the triangle. Okay, using a ruler to find the heights of the triangle. So what's the area of the green triangle? Half times 4 times 10. And if it's very easy, don't have to cancel. 40 divided by 2 will be 20 already, right? 20 cm square. So what's the shaded area? So 12 plus 20, and your answer is 32 centimeters square. Is the answer correct? Okay, this one doesn't know. I don't have the answer key. I'm going to look at the answer key now. Okay, sometimes okay, let me see. Yeah, the answer is correct, right? Yeah. Okay, last question already. Okay, last question. Okay, question 30, all right? Question 30. Okay, now this is the one. Okay, now this one will take a while. Okay, this one will take a while. Okay, the last question is usually the harder ones. Okay, the harder questions usually. Mr. Star wants to buy a handbag. Shop A sells the handbag at 20% more than shop B. This is a percentage problem. Okay, now I need everyone to open your, start your video. This question is going to be very important. All right, so Yoke, Junhao, and this is the last one already, okay? But this last one is the one that kills everybody. Okay, the one that everybody has problem, right? Okay, now every time there's a percentage, what is your base? What is your base? Your base is 100%. Okay, 100%. So shop A sells the handbag at 20% more than shop B. Before you can add 20% more, you need to start with 100% first. So shop B is 100%. Shop A is 120%. Everybody knows that. Okay, I'm sure you have done this correctly. And then look at the next sentence. Shop C sells the same handbag at 25% more than shop A. Did anybody, okay, let's see. Did anybody put down shop A is 120% and shop C must be 120 plus 25. Did anybody do that? Means your shop C is 145%. If you do that, it's a major mistake because you must always start with 100% before you can plus or minus. Right? You must always start with 100% before you plus or minus. So which means that you cannot do this way. Okay, you cannot do this way. So we're going to erase this part, and your shop C sells the same handbag at 25% more than shop A, which is your new base. Your new base. Okay, so your shop C is how many percent now? 25% more than 100, 125%. Okay, are you clear on this part? This is the concept already. This is not method. This is not shortcut. This is your concept already. You always start with 100% before you plus or minus. Okay, so if shop A is how many percent? Okay, shop A is 120%. Okay, let's write down 120%. And then shop B is 100%. And then how about shop C? Can we find shop C? How to find? Okay, very easy. Now look carefully. Go to this sentence. Can you see that your shop A is now 100% already? It's a new base, right? So your 100%, I'm talking about shop A now. And your 100% is how many? 1, 2, 0. Okay. Your 100% is 1, 2, 0. And you're supposed to find shop C, which is how many? Shop C is 125%, which is how many? Okay, shortcut, jump. Okay, how to jump? Can we jump? Okay, now if you have difficulty jumping, then what do? Okay, you can just find 1%, then 120 over 100. Avoid decimal. Okay, so that you can do faster. You have a fraction there, and then 125% will be how much? You take 125 times 120 over 100. So we avoid decimal, and then we cancel to get how many is 125%. Okay, all right, then you cancel. All right, let's do carefully. So divide by 10. You can also divide by 10 on top, and then divide by 5, and then 125 divide by 5. What else? 2 divide by 2, and 12 can also divide by 2. So you can also cancel vertically also, diagonally or vertically also can. And then what you cannot cancel already, you multiply. 25 times 6 will be how many? 25 times 6 will be 150. And then 1 times 1 will be 1. So how many is shop C? How many percent is shop C? That is 150%. Do you understand now? Okay, yeah, this is a part where not everyone will get the answer correct, because you have to start with 100% first before you can plus or minus. Okay, all right, so your shop A 120, shop B 100, shop C 150. So now, which shop should she buy the handbag from if she wants to spend the least? Isn't there shop B, right? Shop B, right? Shop B will be the what? Shop B will be the least expensive because it's only 100%. So your answer will be shop B. Okay, did anyone get the answer correct? Shop B, or you have a lucky guess? All right, shop B, least money to spend. Okay, then part B, you have a problem also, right? Part B, you have a problem. What's the problem? Because you don't know how to get the percentage increase. But what did Ms. Tong tell you? Percentage is always fraction, the best friend of fraction. So can we get fraction? Okay, you're comparing shop C and shop B, right? So what's the increase? You look at shop C and look at shop B, what's the increase? The increase is 50%, right? Increase. Then what's the denominator? The denominator is where do you start from before you increase? The denominator is always at first, right? At first. So where do you start from before you increase? You start from 100%, right? So you have your fraction already, right? So how do you get your percentage? You change once your denominator is 100, then how many percent increase? 50% increase. Okay, do you understand? Got it? All right, so when you have percentage problem, what must you do? You always must start with 100% first before you can plus or minus. Okay, this is very important. This is your concept already. Your teacher call it the base. Okay, the base. Some teachers call it the base. Some teachers don't call it, but you always must start with 100% first before you plus or minus. Okay, now you can add up your marks already. So how do you do for your exam? How do you do for your paper one? Okay, now, of course, if you didn't do well, it's all right, but we'll be spending every Monday to do paper one. So you should be getting better and better, right? Lesser and lesser mistakes. So any mistakes you make, you don't repeat the same mistakes, all right? Go and watch the video to revise. Okay, any questions? Any questions before we end the lesson for today? All right, if there's no question and those who want to ask me questions, you can stay back. All right, stay back after the lesson. We are over time already. So every Monday, we may be over time. All right, we might be over time. Okay, if there's no question, I will see you on the next Monday. All right, so goodbye, everybody. See you on the next Monday. All right, goodbye. Okay, anyone want to ask me a question? Anybody? Caleb? Yeah, Jordan?
Oh, question 25. I haven't copy finish yet.
Question 25. Okay, can watch the video, right, Jordan?
I don't have video.
Okay, question 25. Okay, can you copy quickly? And anyone else has question? Okay, where's question 25? Okay, Caleb, got question, Caleb?
Yes.
Okay, what's the Caleb?
25 also.
Question 25. Okay, can you copy down?
It's not copied down, it's like question, like
Okay, have a question, right? Okay, then okay. All right, let me okay, what's your question first of all, Caleb? What's your question?
It's like, so for the okay, let me annotate like for this part, it's like you can put any number you want.
You can put any number you want, and then you copy the steps over.
Then for this part, it's just you copy the steps also.
Yeah, copy the steps over.
Okay.
Like if the first step is times, then you times. Second step is plus, then plus. Just copy the steps. Okay. But of course, if you know how to do it without this way, then it's better. Otherwise, you can do this way.
I let Jordan finish copying. I still got one more later.
Okay. All right, Janelle. Any question, Janelle? Janelle, any question?
I was looking for 25.
Oh, you also copying 25. Okay. Caleb, you got to take away the annotation so that the rest can see clearly. Okay, you got to remove the annotation.
That's not me.
Okay. Can you remove the annotation? Whoever is putting that. Okay. All right. So any more questions? Aiden, you're still here? No question, Aiden. Janelle? Okay. No question. All right, then I will see you on the next lesson. Okay, the next. Jordan. There are people looking at you. Caleb is looking at you. Okay. All right. There's no question. Then I'll see you on the next Monday. Okay. All right. So I will send you the next paper one to do.
15.
Oh, Caleb, you got a question, Caleb? Yeah.
Yeah, 15.
Question 15. Question 15. Question 15. Let me see. Question 15. What's the question 15? Question 15 and Let me see. Okay, this one, yep.
Yeah, it's like for here, right? Isn't it like the whole box? Like you count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12.
Oh, no. How many boxes make up? How many small boxes make up the bigger box? So if you count carefully, okay, now how do I, okay, can you see there's one box here? One small box.
Yeah.
Then behind, I mean, there's also one small box, right? And then,
Uh-huh.
if you count, okay, now how to count the number of boxes accurately? Very easy. We should not be counting below. You count on top. You count on top. Do you see 4 boxes on top?
Uh-huh.
Then they must be sitting on how many boxes below?
Oh, 4.
Then you have 4 plus 4, there'll be 8 small boxes make up the whole carton, make up the whole box. Okay, the whole bigger box. Okay, yeah. So if you want to count how many boxes are there, is always you can count the on top layer, because the top layer are sitting on the bottom layer. Otherwise, how they're going to sit there if there's nothing below them? Okay, all right. Okay, any more questions?
Nope.
Okay, so how was the result? Jordan, what's the result, Jordan? Okay, you can count your marks already. Count your marks and then you can let me know how many marks you get. Since there are only 2 of you now.
I'm counting.
Okay, Jordan, you can count your marks, okay? Hopefully you get more than 30. Hopefully, yeah.
I only got 18. Oh my goodness.
18. Okay.
This is very bad.
Yeah, 18 is quite okay. You need to look at your mistakes and revise. Yeah, because remember, how many for Jordan?
Wait, is it upon 45?
Upon 45, yeah. Okay, maybe Caleb can count again just to double check. If any mistake, just a wrong answer, just give 0 marks. Correct answer, give full marks.
Bye-bye.
Jordan, you haven't told Daddy your marks yet. How many marks you get? Never mind. Very low is okay. Never mind.
Then when I come home.
Okay, then you send a message. Okay, just give a private message.
Yeah, I counted already.
Okay, now, okay, Mr. must tell you, if your marks are below 20, okay, it's okay, but you need to revise. Look through your mistakes because it's about your concept that get you into trouble, right? So you need to know your concept. And because we haven't done the paper 2 yet, paper 2 will be much harder, right? So paper 1 is supposed to help you to go higher. Then paper 2 will be a bit harder. Then, okay, then we just do our best for paper 2. But paper 1, you must try to score higher. Okay, what is the minimum? The minimum is, okay, Mr. must tell you what's the minimum. All right, Jordan, you have to look up the minimum. To get 65 points, which I think I told you last year, paper 1, you must get at least 33, at least. Okay, at least it's just a general idea, general rule. And then your paper 2 is about 32 over 55. And then when you plus them together, you will get 65, which is your 6 points. 6 points means you're out of the broad range. Okay, but even if you get 65, of course, it's not fantastic lah. It's good, but it's not fantastic because you only get 6 points. All right, 6 points. But at least you try to get at least 33, at least. Then paper 2, at least 32. Okay, all right, understand? Okay, so there's no question. I think today we end a bit much later because the primary 6 paper 1 is much harder. So take more time to explain. Okay, any questions? Any more last questions? Okay, no more last question. Then I will see you on the next Monday. All right, so goodbye, everybody. See you next Monday. All right, goodbye. Okay, goodbye. Okay, Jordan, and okay, how many marks you get, Jordan, for your paper 1? How many?
Still counting, still at question 25.
Question 25. You need to copy down question 25?
No, I'm still at question 25. I'm still counting.
Okay, okay. Okay, never mind. We didn't do well, never mind. Okay. How many?
Now I'm calculating.
Okay, if it's wrong, just give 0 marks lah. If it's correct, then just give full marks. So it's easier to count, easier to give marks.
I got 18.
18, okay, 18, which is also not very good, right? 18 is not very good, lah. So what happened is, if you get 18, then it means that your paper 2 must be very high, like must score even much higher to maybe pass, maybe get at least 50 something. Sure, 18?
No, Caleb is 18.
Okay, then yourself?
I 32.
Are you sure got 32 marks?
Yeah.
You got 32?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, Miss Ong, Daddy can trust you, right? Trust you. You didn't go and change the marks here and there. Okay, Daddy. All right, but Daddy just want you to do your best. Okay, do your best. Okay, who is that monster beside you? Who is that monster beside you? All right, and okay, so you can see that now there's a lot of people. There's a lot now, Jordan. There's a lot of people on the line online, so you cannot anyhow laugh and joke because there's a lot of people now. Yeah.
Ong, then this
Yeah,
emoji,
yeah, I'm using.
Jordan Ong.
Yeah, I'm using his account to look at everybody. I'm using his account to look at everybody.
Then your account is so now only 2%.
Now 3%, or 2%, yeah, 2%, not 2%, yeah.
2%.
Okay. And Jordan, don't change your name. Don't change your name. Daddy need to know your name. Cannot change your name. Okay,
No,
okay.
Daddy. No, I
Yes.
don't know Nash what is Jordan. It's my name but opposite.
Oh, so
See Jordan.
Okay, okay. All right, Daddy must come already. Daddy is tired already.
German already.
Okay, how is the lesson, Jordan? How is the lesson? Is the lesson clear?
Yeah, but very boring. Yeah.
But no, okay. But this is a.
half packet fried rice,
Okay. End the video already. Okay. Bye-bye, everybody. Bye-bye. Okay, bye-bye. Oh, Jordan, Daddy forgot to tell you. The rest is recorded.
Oh, okay.
Oh dear, I forgot to record. Okay, it's recording. Okay. Bye-bye. Jordan is bye-bye. Okay, bye-bye.
Bye.
Okay, bye-bye.
Bye.